What's good, people? Welcome back to the channel. It's a new month, so it's time for my updated NBA rankings for this NBA season. The NBA's had a very interesting start to the season. If you saw my previous NBA ranking before the season started, and you saw, yeah, let's just forget that happened. You guys already know the tiers. The teams that are contenders to the teams that need to learn French expeditiously. Besides all that, let's get right into the video. Let's start off with the Sixers. The Sixers have a lot of question marks. Look, Joel Embiid has come out and looks like the MVP candidate for the past 2 years, but my main issue is the fact that Tyrese Maxey, James Harden, and Tobias Harris are all out. Tyrese is going to miss at least a month. James Harden is still waiting to come back. I don't know when Tobias is going to be back. It's going to be a lot to handle, and I think that there's a lot of question marks to see how the Sixers will perform until December. The Washington Wizards. Look, Washington is a sleeper team. Kristaps Porzingis is having a very underrated season, and Bradley Beal as well too. He's not averaging as many points as he usually was. He's averaging less points, but on great efficiency, and is filling in his role as a guy who can score the ball in bunches. I think this team is very good. Not a championship level team, but I think that how they've looked so far in the early part of the season, they're definitely a team that looks like that can beat some good teams and probably make the playoffs when it's all said and done. The next team, the Atlanta Hawks. Look, Atlanta's a sleeper team as well. Trae Young has not looked good, fair enough. But this team defensively has still looked really good, and I think that the backcourt between DeJounte Murray and Trae Young, they're finding their chemistry as well, and they're probably a trade away from being a championship level team, but right now, they look really good, and if they do make a trade down the road and put some over the edge, they're going to be very lethal once Trae Young gets back into a rhythm. Next up, the Cleveland Cavaliers, another sleeper team. Now, let's be honest. To begin the season, they looked very spooky. They looked really good, and I think D. Mitch is still proving that he's still that guy and could be in the MVP race as well. They did lose some games over the past few weeks, but I still think Cleveland, again, with their depth, from their defense all the way to their offense and their backcourt and all the good role pieces, they're a team that you have to look out for. The main thing for them this year for me is seeing if they can build that chemistry, and it looks like they've really found each other's niches and knowing what they want to do, and I think that they're still a team that you got to look out for every single night in the regular season. Next up, the Detroit Pistons. I got you on the Wemby sweepstakes, and I think that you guys are a good team, good young core, and it sucks that Cade Cunningham might miss the entirety of this season due to a shin injury, but I think that you guys are definitely going to have to learn French, bonjour. Bonjour. I love Jaden Ivey, looks really good too, and Jalen Duren, but bonjour. Next up, the Pacers. I think the Pacers are a few pieces away. The Pacers are a team that looks really good, and I might even push them up a little bit because I don't know if they're actually going to be continuously this good for so long. Tyrese Halliburton, one of the best playmakers that are young in the NBA right now, and Ben Mathurin, a rookie who's looking like 2009 D Wade. What is wrong with this guy? I think Halliburton, Mathurin, the entire team, I like what I see from Indiana. Looks really good. Next up, the Milwaukee Bucks. Let's be honest. We really got to talk about them boys? Come on now. They're just that good. Giannis looking like an all-defensive and MVP candidate again. And Brook Lopez, who has been very good, knocking out 2 threes a game, is also in a conversation for being a defensive player of the year this year and being on an all-defensive team. He's been that good. And I think that once they get Chris Middleton back, they're going to be even more lethal. Next up, the Toronto Raptors. The Raptors are a question mark team. I think it sucks the fact that Siakam got injured because he started the season so good, and you could see that Siakam was on a roll, and unfortunately got injured. Precious Achiuwa got injured, dealing with some injuries here and there. But I think that the Raptors, once they get past this injury bug, they're going to be very fine. They're a team that I think that they're going to be a problem as the season goes along just because of what they have and they're versatile forward, but they haven't looked very impressive to start the season, to be honest. Next up, we have the Mavericks, and I think the Mavericks are an A-tier team. The Mavericks are a team that I think that with Luka Doncic and how great he's been playing, I think that every single night he's a problem. He's averaging close to over 30 points per game, a triple-double every single night. And I love the addition of Christian Wood off the bench. He's finding in his role. And I think that the main issue with the Mavericks is just, can they be a team that can be consistently good even if Luka's off? I might bring the Mavs down. I might bring them down. Just a notch. I think that the Western Conference right now, I'll let you guys know right now, the Western Conference is wide open right now. It's super wide open. But I think the Mavericks are a team where Luka Doncic is great. He's an MVP candidate, and they're still finding in that second guy who's going to be the main second guy for them. But they have good pieces. Not a bad team, but I don't know yet. They're good, but I don't know yet. Next up, the Denver Nuggets. The Denver Nuggets, kind of similar to how I feel about the Mavericks. They're 2 teams that I think are going to be that could make the conference finals in the Western Conference. But I think right now they just started off kind of off, especially for the Nuggets. I think Jokic, compared to his MVP standards, has not been good, and I think he's going to pick that up as well. They're still a great offensive team, one of the best offensive ratings in the league. Their defense has to be a little bit better. I love the fact that Michael Porter Jr. is proving himself that he's one of the better three-point shooters and an efficient scorer. Jamal Murray is getting back into a rhythm. The offense is there. Nikola Jokic just has to be a little bit better. That's all that it comes down to. But besides that, we'll see the Nuggets get better as the season progresses. The Memphis Grizzlies. I was really going to put the Memphis Grizzlies up into the A tier, but I think due to all the injuries that they've dealt with so far in the early part of the season, it kind of pushes me back just a little bit. I think John Morant has been very, very good. MVP candidate, again, alongside many other players. And I think Desmond Bane has proven to a lot of people he's more than just a shooter, averaging 25 and 5. But unfortunately, he's just been injured. He's going to be out for at least a month. Jaren Jackson Jr., who's back now, who I think is going to help this defense, is going to be great. But now John Morant is also injured, who's going to miss around 1 to 2 weeks. Like, this team is always missing something, which makes me want to put them here. But, yeah, I'll keep them there. Forget it. If I keep them there, I got to put the Mavericks up there then. Nah. Mavericks up. I'm going to switch the Mavericks and the Grizzlies. I usually never do this, but I do think the Mavericks right now, I think they're better right now just due to the fact that the Grizzlies are dealing with injuries. And I think that with Luka Doncic, he's just been too phenomenal to have him as a sleeper team. He looks like he's putting up insane numbers right now as the main guy in Dallas. Like he's been amazing along with their shooting, along with that team. Yeah, I got to put him up there. The next team, the Timberwolves. Question marks. A lot of question marks with this team. I still don't think the fit has looked good. And they made a lot of moves and a lot of assets and a lot of things were traded away just to get Rudy Gobert, who I think is still, he's going to be a defensive prowess, but there has to be a way to get these guys better in tune. D'Lo has to step up. Like, there's a lot of things that have to happen for the Minnesota Timberwolves to be really, really good. And we're still waiting to see it. But right now, they're a middle of the pack team. The Spurs are in the Wemby sweepstakes. They're a few pieces away in the sense that they played so well to begin the season that I can't sit here and just not acknowledge it. Devin Vassell, Keldon Johnson, Jakob Poeltl. People don't talk about these guys, but these guys are really, really, really good. Along with Jeremy Sohan as well. I like what they have in Jeremy Sohan. They're not great. They're not good, but you can see the flashes. They're gonna be here. I get it. They're gonna be learning French, but they've proven themselves. I gotta give some respect to the Spurs. The Utah Jazz. Look, missing something. When I talk about this team, I've said it before. You add a top 7 talent onto this team, even a top 10 talent, they're a contending team. This team moves the ball well. They play defense on the string. Credit to the coach. I think Lauri Markkanen could be an all-star this year as well. The Utah Jazz look great. We talked about them so many times. They're a good team. The Clippers are a question mark team. Again, they're gonna be. They have a lot of vets. They're gonna be great. They have solid pieces. Paul George and the star. They have John Wall coming off the bench. They're a good team. The question mark is Kawhi Leonard. Will he be Kawhi Leonard of what we've known, or has he regressed? We have to see how he plays, and I think that now that he's playing games now, that he's officially back, and we know that he's not missing any more time for the foreseeable future. We got to see how he looks. Until we see it, they're a question mark team. Right now, I got the Suns. Look, the Suns are missing something. And I think that if you looked at what their team has right now, CP3's been out for a minute. You have Jay Crowder, who's not playing for the team anymore. And you have Cam Johnson, who's been going to be out due to surgery for an injury. They're still one of the top teams in the Western Conference. And it falls back down to how Devin Booker has played and the coaching staff as well. Devin Booker has taken a small leap in his passing ability and has been able to get other guys involved as well. I think the Suns have proven to a lot of people that even through all the turmoil of all the drama and what they've had to go through last year, they've done fairly well trying to pick up their offense, pick up their defense. And once they get guys back, and eventually they're going to trade Jay Crowder and get something back for him, they're going to be a team that you have to look out for in the Western Conference. That's just what it is. Next up, I got the Portland Trailblazers. Portland is a sleeper team, and I really think, even missing Jerry Payne II, who I think is a solid defensive piece, you got guys who are looking great. Anthony Simons, who's a really, really good young guard in the league. Jeremy Grant's having a very good offensive season. You got guys filling in their roles if it comes on the defensive end, rebounding. I think the main question mark right now is Damian Lillard. Can Damian look like Damian of the old and get back into his efficiency standpoint and play a little bit better? Then this team is going to look really, really, really good. I like all the pieces on this team. Like, they're really good to me. I like what they have. Next up, the Sacramento Kings. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know what it is. I'm a huge Kings fan, and I'm gonna say it now. They're making the playoffs. This is the year the drought ends. They're making the playoffs, bro. De'Aaron Fox is much more efficient as a jump shooter, and he might be an all-star this season. I like what you see in the Kings. They're one of the best offenses. Be on the lookout for the Kings. I think this is the year that they make the playoffs. They make the playoffs this year. Next up, I have the Knicks. Jalen Brunson wasn't a bad signing. And I also think RJ Barrett, right now, you paid him star money, but he's not giving you star production. And I think the Knicks right now, they're just a team that, again, they might figure it out. But right now, I'm not too impressed with the Knicks and what I've seen. And I hate harping on the younger guys in the league, but for this Knicks team, for you to pay him that much money, he's got to be better. And right now, he hasn't been, so that is what it is. Next up, I have the Pelicans. They're a question mark team. They're a question mark team, and I think that they're a solid young core. They're good. They're not a bad team. They're not gonna be like they're trending downwards or anything like that. I need to see more from the Pelicans. I know there's a bunch of pieces on the team when you look at Jose Alvarado, Trey Murphy, who's a great 3-point shooter, Larry Nance Jr., who's looked really good as a backup. Like, the team has a lot of great pieces. I've yet to say like, wow, this team is literally on the like. No, I'm not there yet. Maybe I'm wrong. Let me know in the comment section. Maybe I'm tripping. Next up, I got the Hornets. Hornets on the Wemby sweepstakes. I've said it before. The best option is for them to go ahead and try to sell house, make a fire sale, just trade everything and get ready to rebuild around LaMelo and put a lot of better young pieces around him so that you guys can actually build something for the future. The Hornets started off the season really good, like the first week, but after that, I mean, reality came back. Like, come on now, like, let's be honest. So, bonjour. The Rockets, my favorite team. Nah, we gotta, clear as day. The Rockets are definitely in the Wemby sweepstakes right now. They have the worst record in the NBA. I think the bigger question mark for the Rockets is just figuring out how to mesh everything together and using these guys in the best situation so that they can perform at their best ability. But until then, the Miami Heat. Miami, a lot of question marks for Miami. Miami has always been known as a defensive team. They've been a team that just hangs their head on defense and makes it harder for you to play against them. They're one of the average teams defensively this year, and it's early. I understand that. That's fair. Miami's offense is always their defense. If they play good defense, they're going to make it harder for everybody, and that leads to transitions. But right now, Miami just looks like they're a little bit off right now. Next up, Chicago Bulls. Chicago has probably been the most disappointing team in the NBA right now. From a team that was going crazy last year, started off very hot, they don't look good at all. The last 6 games, they're 1-5. They should figure it out. You have guys in DeRozan, Levine, Vucevic. Like, there's guys who can will you some games in the league. This next month, going into December, Chicago's got to pick it up, because if they don't, there's a high chance that drastic moves might be made in Chicago. Next up, the Brooklyn Nets. Brooklyn, again, is a team that's a question mark. You talk about Brooklyn every day. There's always something going on with Brooklyn. We don't know what it is. With Kyrie Irving officially back, I think this team is going to look much better offensively as well. I think Kevin Durant is having a very good season. People don't talk about it. I think the defense is cooked. But I think this team definitely can look better as the season progresses, especially as we get into December. Next up, I have the Oklahoma City Thunder. Oklahoma City, man, you guys have found your superstar franchise cornerstone, SGA. We weren't sure. I wasn't sure if it was going to be, it's officially SGA. He's in the MVP race, looking like a top 5 talent, have a star, and now you can just build around him. And you have so many assets coming soon in the next few years to build around him. You guys fit the mold, a few pieces away. I like what y'all have. And I think that SGA is just proving to a lot of people that, look, Thunder basketball is on the rise. So credit to you guys. Next up, the Warriors. The Warriors have been interesting. Probably the most interesting team to talk about since the season has started. They're clearly a sleeper team to me, and I think people will put them down, but I look at it this way. Stephen Curry's having his most efficient year ever in his career, and I believe right now the Warriors' biggest issue is the fact that Klay Thompson and Jordan Poole are not in a rhythm, and that second unit is still having some kinks that they have to figure out. Once they figure out how to get that second unit back into a rhythm, and Jordan Poole and Klay Thompson get back into a rhythm, this team is going to be completely fine. Their starting 5 is one of the best 5-man units in the league. This team is going to be fine, and I know a lot of people want to panic just because they hate the Warriors. I get it, but this team is going to be fine. Stephen Curry's having a phenomenal season where we have never seen before. So I'm not panicking. But next month, if it continues, not gonna cap. Next up, the Boston Celtics. Look, Celtics, I have 2 contending teams right now from the first month of what I've seen from the NBA. I got the Celtics in there. Celtics have been on a winning streak. Jason Tatum is the best wing in the NBA right now. On offense, he's giving you whatever you need. On defense, he can provide what you need as well. Jaylen Brown's going to be an all-star as well. Marcus Smart has been playing great defense along with the entire core. The others on the team performing to their best ability, adding in what they can add in. And I think that once they get Robert Williams back in January, this team is going to be so much more lethal on defense, and it provides such another layer to the Boston Celtics of what they can do. I like the Celtics. I think it's going to be interesting to see how they perform, and Jason Tatum again is in the MVP discussion as well. Next up, I have the Lakers, and I think the Lakers are the Lakers are in trouble. I will say this. Russell Westbrook off the bench has been a great move, and I think that that's been a move that's actually helped the Lakers, especially help run the second unit and get Russell Westbrook into his own rhythm. The main problem now is just getting LeBron James back into his rhythm, because LeBron James has to be better for the Lakers to be any type of competitive in this season this year. AD has been great. I think defensively he's had to do so much for this team because they lack true wings. And I think that the 3-point shooting is on the rise, even though they started off horrible. I don't think they're a team that's just going to like just be an A-tier team. It's very, it's unlikely. But for them to get the best out of what they have right now, LeBron James has to be better. Russell Westbrook has to carry that second unit. AD has to be great defensively. Everybody's got to do the role. It's just that simple. If they can do that, then Pelicans will not get Wembanyama. That's about it, though. Yeah, that's about it. And lastly, the Magic. Look, don't get it twisted. The Magic do have one of the worst records in the NBA right now, but I love their core. What they're able to do with Bol has been amazing, rejuvenating his career. Paulo Banchero looks like he's going to be a star in the future. I love Franz Wagner and how he's changed his game a little bit, being much more of a point guard at times in his playmaking ability. So the team is very good. Love the Magic, but we. You feel me? We. You feel me? But that concludes my rankings for November. Look, I'm telling y'all, this has been a very interesting start to the season. I know the rankers are going to say some stuff. People are going to be like, what the heck? Why is this team there? Why is this team not there? Like, I understand it. It's the first month. Things are going to change as the season progresses. But, you know, don't kill me in the comment section. Please don't. It's okay. It's okay. But if you enjoyed the video, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and turn that post notification bell on so you never miss a video. Loads of more content coming up before we end this year. But until next time, stay on beat.